After the first wave of NFL free agency, now that it's all done, do you guys think that Ryan Poles will make any trade offers? D Nice and I are going to break it down here in a little bit, just right after this.
Hops on the ice, red lights flash, codes in the summer, whole city mad. Tracks like a tone, nigga ran for the sound. City ride with it, yeah, this our town. It's Chicago. Fucking here, we live in Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, we in it. Cut the take, cut the gone. Whole city tell me when we turn the ball. It's Chicago. Let's play, lean in. Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, this spin. Same heart, same code. Sports podcast, hey, let's go.
So we are interested right now on possible trades. I mean, I feel like the Chicago Bears have done their due diligence and really tried to find holes that we didn't fill before. There are discrepancies in the defense. There was a lot of issues with our team, with our defense. Even if we liked our guys and they played a lot, there were some guys that are on the team that had the top 5 most minutes for the entire year. And you say, well, you played them all the time, Trax. So why would we get rid of a guy that played 90-something%? Well, they had to last year, but that doesn't mean that they're going to come back with those same guys this year. So how are we going to fill those holes? We have some big holes to fill. Where is it going to come from? And I'll be honest with you, the average guy at home does not know who the guys who we had before were on a team. Maybe a Tremaine Edmonds, okay? Maybe a TJ Edwards or whatever, but let's get real. How come all of a sudden people know who every offensive lineman out there, even this guy from the freaking Browns, the Schmuckatelli first-round draft pick from, freaking 4 years ago? You mean to tell me everybody thinks this guy's a household name? No, that's what the media is training us. Somebody said that this guy's a dog. Somebody said because he was a first rounder, he's not a bust in the first round. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be good. I'm just saying that we need to figure out whether these guys are going to be good, bad, or whatever. Now, from a cap standpoint, I can understand why they're trying to do addition by subtraction, because the money just isn't there. The math ain't mathing with the money that they have. And they haven't restructured anything yet. And a lot of people are thinking right now, myself included, is when are they going to start a restructure? Are they going to restructure? What's going on? I know next year we got $111 million, almost $112 million, and that's without moving anything around, D-Nice. So we need to talk about some trades, some potential trades that could happen, that could probably help our team out. For you folks at home, if you have any ideas that you want to throw at D-Nice and I, let us know. But I want to unpack a couple things, run it across, D-Nice's desk. We're going to have a special guest call in here in a little bit. They're going to call the hotline, okay? If you guys want to call, chime in too. We've got a number for you to call. A couple guys have already done so, and we let a couple of them on. And we've also let a couple voicemails on. It's 872-256-1424. All you got to do is make a phone call, and you could enter in for a choice of the jersey that you want, and you could be on the show today. Just give us a call, man. D-Nice and I will pick up, and we'll hear what you got to say. But first, I want to hear what D-Nice has to say in our special caller here in a little bit. So let's get into this. This is our first idea here, and I will see exactly what, let's go into what we have so far. So our defensive line depth is this. We got Booker, Dexter, Jarrett, and Sweat. That's our defensive line. Now, you would like to say that they would keep at least about 4 to 5 interior defensive linemen, 4 to 5 edges, and go from there. Here's our cornerbacks. We got Johnson, Stevenson, and Gordon. We might be shipping off one of these guys, okay, in our trades. Here's our linebacker update. We got Bush, Edwards, and Newell. Now, I will say this: we might actually, as lean as that is, we still might be trading off one of those guys. Here's our running back depth: we got Swift, Monangai, Johnson, and Brown. Those are the guys that we've got in the building right now. Now, I will like to say this before we go over and talk defense and trading all that up. I want to ask you, D Nice, my first player that I'd like to trade away and get is Devon Achane. Now, when I say Devon Achane, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, brother?
Speed, explosiveness. Those are the first two things that come to my mind when it comes down to Devon Achane.
Mhm,
He's one of the most explosive backs that's playing in the NFL
mhm.
right now. Well, Poles and company has made it their point that they want more speed on the football field, and that's not just for defense, that's for offense as well. And he's as explosive as it gets out of Texas A&M.
Now, is this a possibility that because we have a linebacker coach that might be familiar with him, that this would be a good fit? Do you think that we're connecting the dots there, and this is why this might make more sense than dollars?
Well, I mean, that's how the NFL works. It's all about relationships. If you have a coach that comes from the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, be it offense or defense, as
Mhm.
we have the running back coach, the former running back coach for the Dolphins, currently our running back coach. It makes a lot of sense. The NFL, there's a lot of deals that be done that has been done due to relationships of coaches on the coaching staff. So it's nothing uncommon. It's very, very, very common to be on point. But yeah, this is how it works. This is how it works. Anytime we get someone from a place where they have had a lot of success, it's also natural to want some of the players, some of his former players that he's coached. And I think every team in the league wanted Devon Achane.
And here's the thing too. Who wouldn't want to work? A lot of people say nepotism, this and whatever. No, that's not it. It's about locker room. It's about the culture. It's about the vibe, man, and what kind of aura that we've got there. And it's like you bring a guy in that you've worked with before. Who doesn't want to work with somebody you've worked with before that that has a good attitude, a good work ethic? If he comes in the building, you got to trust that not only your head coach, but your offensive coordinator, which is your head coach also, and your new running backs coach all have in mind that there is a relationship that you just talked about there. I think exactly what you said is a home run. And I think it's important to look at those things before it makes your job a whole lot easier, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
nothing like familiarity, man. Nothing like
yeah.
it.
Now, I would say this. Why Swift? Why put him in the trade? Because this might actually work out because a lot of people will say that A Chain would actually go for a second. Okay. Now I see where he could help out with cap as far as Swift goes. We had a good year with Swift, but that's a large, that's a crowded backfield now. You bring A Chain in, Swift and Monangai. I mean, I don't even know where. I think we really stunt Monangai's growth if we don't do something with Swift. And then also along with that too, I think you could couple that with a fourth round pick
Hmm.
or something like that. And then it becomes much more affordable to go get an A chain. Now, is there something that he possesses that you see, D Nice, that is appealing to bring him in over what Swift possesses? There's something, maybe some explosiveness, some footwork, reading a hole. What is it that you see about this guy?
Well, first of all, what jumps off the screen, what I mean, when you look at his numbers, is 5.7 yards to touch. Okay,
That's a lot.
that's almost six. That's almost 6 yards a carry, and
And I will
that.
say this, I would like to stop you and say that we already know without really digging into the details that
Mhm.
I would say that our offensive line is better than Miami. So
Yeah.
our offensive coordinator is better than Miami's, right? Because they're a shell of what they had last year, and last year wasn't even all that good. So could you imagine what A Chain would look like behind our offensive line if what you're saying is true? And I believe that it is.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he had 238 carries
Mhm.
for 1,350 yards.
Yeah.
8 touchdowns, and that's on a bad team.
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
imagine, this is on a team with their starting quarterback didn't play most of the year.
Yeah.
They had no passing game whatsoever. This guy was still able to manage 1,350 yards.
Okay.
So just imagine being with Caleb Williams in the passing attack that we have here in Chicago.
Yeah.
And he's also an excellent back out of the backfield. He had 488 yards receiving with 4 touchdowns with 67 receptions. So,
Right.
I love Swift, and I think I've grown to have a lot more respect for him. This past year than I had in the past. But Achane is definitely an upgrade.
Now, I will say this. I agree with what you're saying, if all everything, and I have not watched a lot of fish football, okay? Sorry, I don't follow
Mhm.
them. If they're not playing the Bears, busy season for me. I haven't really been so, loose with looking at other, areas and stuff. But I will say this, from what I gather and what I've seen, it's been pretty remarkable. It's been pretty impressive. But I don't know if it's impressive enough to come up with this trade that Bears chat now with Harrison Graham. I mean, this is kind of a head scratcher. They want um us to give up a second round draft pick, which is 57, not 60, because we got two. So they don't even want us to give up 60 instead of 57. And DeAndre Swift for Devon Achane. I think that's a little rich. I would say at least a third or fourth, because if I'm not mistaken, there could be a guy, and I've heard this, at least the Notre Dame, and I don't even want to say backup because the way that they ran their offense, their second running back on their team could equally be just as good as their first string running back in Love. And I know I'm going to hear blasphemy from that, but if you go watch the tape and the carries and see what he did with the ball when he got it, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, kind of like that whole theory about Rashawn Johnson with, Texas and him coming here,
Mhm.
but that never panned out, and he's wearing a tampon on top of his head, and I don't know what's going on, but it didn't work out. I'm just saying, I really feel like if you're going to give up a second rounder and our running
Yeah,
back, that
yeah,
just seems
that's
like
tough.
I'm thinking like a fourth rounder. Let's start there, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
what team is Harrison? I'm glad he's not. I'm glad he's not our GM, bro. I swear to God, this is bad, bro. This is
Yeah,
bad.
man.
This is bad.
I
So,
mean, and Swift is 1,000 yard back in his own right.
right.
And he was sharing the backfield with Cal Manunga, as you spoke earlier.
Yeah.
So just imagine if he didn't have to share the workload with Manunga. Swift could have had, as far as the yardage standpoint, he could have had just as many yards as Achane. But it's just something about Achane. Achane is super versatile. The explosiveness is something that money cannot buy. You cannot trade enough picks for explosiveness like that. But Swift in the second. I'm with you, Trax. I think that's a little bit too rich for my blood.
Let me know at home, all the people in the chat. We're going to get into them in a little bit. We're going to hear your voice heard. We're also got a special caller coming in. We're going to hear what he has to say. He's actually got some familiarity with, Eric Studsville. They have a relationship over there, that running back coach. So I'd like to hear what he's got to say too. But right now we're going to get into our second one. And this is TJ Edwards. And right now, you guys are going to be like, Tracks. We don't even have enough running backs or linebackers to take the field. Now, you want to trade away TJ Edwards? I mean, this is the guy who is going to be our veteran. This is the guy who couldn't even stay on the field. And this is the only one that we have left. And you want to trade him off? Like, what are you thinking, Tracks? What's going on here? Well, this is what I'm thinking. We're going to trade Dallas. Okay. And TJ Edwards and a 7th round draft pick for their 5th round draft pick. Now, I will say this. I wouldn't even mind a 4th. All right. Or a 5th and a 7th or something. Let's double it up, And the reason why I say Dallas is 7th, why not? They played worse than we did. So they're going to be higher up in the 7th round to move us up a little bit, a little closer. That this is basically the market value for a guy like TJ Edwards. And at some point, you're going to have to pay him. and I just don't think that he's the future. He was the piece in the middle of a rebuild, and I think he was just one of those 2 for 1 where, we could trade a linebacker off and get 2 out of, but that doesn't mean that both of them are gonna stay or all of them are gonna stay because one's already gone. So we're just trying to figure out what we can do here with some of these contracts that we got. Here's an possibility. Are you even okay with trading this guy, D Nice, or do you think that there's someone else out there that is better suited?
Um, this is tough for me, but right now, as we stand and as the league stands as far as free agency, I think it's best that we keep TJ Edwards. I mean, even though he's coming off an injury,
Yeah.
I don't think we get what we need out of that fifth round draft pick to kind of cover for what TJ brings.
But
Now he's
you did tell me even on the show also that
Mhm.
this linebacker draft is deep.
It is.
Very
It most definitely
possible that
is.
in the 5th round we could get a guy that has just as much and maybe even stay more healthy productivity, and you look at the end of the year and the numbers, it's like, wow. But I
Yeah.
will listen to what you have to say. I know that there's some merit to what you're saying as far as
No, I mean you're right. The linebacker stock in this draft is tremendous. It's a lot, it's real heavy at linebacker in this particular draft, but
Mhm.
the draft is a crapshoot, man. You can turn down a sure thing and go with what you think or someone that's potentially that can fill that void, but you bring the guy in, he can't do it. I think what TJ brings outside of his physical ability is his intangibles, man. And it's just something, every player as a
You see that? Is that breaking news? Billings
what's
to
that?
Arizona? Did that
Oh
just
yeah. Yeah, it
well,
has to be.
I mean that okay, so for the record, everybody, this is potentially breaking news. I want to hear it first, but I think Doug would not just throw this out there as a hypothetical because A, we don't even have Billings anymore. He's not
Mhm.
on our books. And this is just the direction that we're going. This isn't a trade piece, ladies and gentlemen, but I do believe that this is happening as we come on this show. Once again, my lucky white rabbit foot is in the building. He's got it in his pocket. It's got to be because every time he comes on the show, D Nice gets us some good, well, not good news, but news,
Yeah,
breaking news,
breaking news.
breaking news. So
Yeah.
yeah,
With a guy like TJ Edwards, man, I think a fifth round pick is kind of shortchanging him just a little bit. I understand he's coming off an injury, but I mean, I have to take it up a notch. You have to give me a fourth, man, and I'm thinking a late third to be honest with you. But
yeah,
coming off an injury, and eventually he's going to have to get paid, so that's what may bring his stock down.
mhm,
But linebacker rich draft. You can move on without him. I was one also that, during this free agency period, we cut Edmonds. I was thinking about the possibility of cutting Edwards too because I wanted a couple of guys. I wanted the Bears to fill that linebacker room with a couple of guys that's already established and is already they have the intangibles that the Bears were looking for as far as speed and physicality.
yeah.
But it didn't work out that way. TJ's still on the team. That's cool, but they're gonna have to give us at least a fourth, man.
Yeah, and why Edwards? Well, Dallas gets a starting linebacker to pair with Overshown and gives Chicago back $6.2 million in cap space. That is something that we can work with. That is something we
Mhm.
can cook with. That makes automatic sense right away. When
Yeah.
you're talking about draft, I mean, you only need another, $3.8 million, and that takes care of your whole draft for the year. It's right around $10 million is the budget if you have 7 draft picks, 1 through 7 is what I'd say. A little bit more if you're going to get some guys, some extra 6 and 5, whatever. We're going to explore the UDFAs, and that's chump change compared to what we're talking about. But this is something that would make sense as far as restructuring goes. This would be the cherry on top, a la King, whatever. So maybe it makes sense. I understand what D Nice is saying because we've all seen the numbers. When our defense does not have TJ Edwards out there, they're awful. They go from bad to awful. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not marginally amazing to where we go from awful to average. We just go from awful to bad. So I mean, it's so I'm like, but I understand. I
I,
understand.
I
And
think we still draft a linebacker though. Anyway,
yeah.
I think we still draft one.
Oh yeah, for sure. But now you guys understand at home why we're looking at this for it's for cap space. Is what $6.2 million we could save. That's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
yeah.
That's a good chunk of change. So and that could register or bring somebody else in or 2 or 3 people in. You just never know what could happen with this. So
Mhm.
folks at home are already saying, give me a fourth or I don't even want to talk to you. Now I will say this. How many people actually think that TJ Edwards outside of us is worth a fourth? I mean, really? If he would have stayed healthy all year, maybe. But I mean, the fact that we Tremaine Edmonds, who's better? TJ Edwards or Tremaine?
TJ, man.
I mean, he's better, but it's marginally, and he just walked. Nobody gave us nothing for the guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, he is younger. I mean, he's got that going for him, but I mean, there's really not a big market for the guy. And I think a lot of people know that there's a deep linebacking in the draft. I don't think it's just D Nice and a couple other guys on our show. And but so that drops his stock too. So
And,
I agree with you guys are saying we need a fourth, but I don't know if that's the market for him, to be honest with you.
and when you think about it, TJ, this is TJ's second year finishing the year hurt. And as the saying goes, health is wealth. So, that inconsistency with the health, man, it can diminish your value.
Yeah. All right. So our next caller has about 20 to 30 minutes, which is great because that should take us to the end of the show, right? But we'll see. We'll see if it comes through. We've just started using this phone line back up. He's got the call. We'll see what happens. He's on the road. So trust the process. But yeah, so that's the other one. We'll circle back and ask him, but we're gonna go ahead and keep moving for time and everything. The next one is trying to go get a guy like Edge Kayvon Thibodeaux. So it's kind of interesting. I like this guy. I've always liked this guy. I think this guy could definitely be a Chicago Bear. I'd like to see him be a Chicago Bear, honestly. When we
Mm.
played the Giants, these are some of the few guys that I didn't mind looking at, on the sidelines. It was kind of like a fan, scout looking at these guys. Honestly, I think if their starting quarterback don't go down, the Giants might have handed us a loss, man. I really feel like the way the game was trending. I was there with my daughter live for the game, man. We were freezing our tails off. And that's not the only time I've taken her in bad weather conditions. I've taken her to you know, freaking all kinds of places. The fair. I've taken her to Six Flags. I've taken her to Disney. And just the weather, it's like, listen, if you see me in line for something like that, go home because it's going to be a bad weather day. Like, Dad, I thought you liked me. So, but getting back to Thibodeaux, man, here we go. So we're looking at Kayvon Thibodeaux and a 6th-round pick for 185. Dallas receives our 3rd-round pick at 89. Is that a little high for us to bring a guy like that in?
Extremely high. This
Extremely
is
high,
this
right?
this is one I've been waiting on. Kayvon Thibodeaux coming out of Oregon. You look at him physically, he's, you know what I'm saying, he checks every box. But on the field, it just hasn't checked out. 23 had 11 and a half sacks.
Hello?
Every
Hey, hold on 1 second, Jim. Hold on 1 second. Should be able to. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't think it's working now. Try to call back. Can you hear him on right now? No?
I can't hear him.
Yeah, call me right back. Let's see if we can get this to go. All right, thank you. Oh, you know what? I didn't have my Bluetooth on. I got to have the Bluetooth on. Okay, it's connected. Should be able to hear this one. Have the Bluetooth connected, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a call coming in. Huh? So yeah, let's 1 second. Let's go ahead and read some of the chat here. Let's see what's going on in the chat verse. So what is it? 8 sack. He had 10 and a half, I believe, this year, at least 10. Forced fumble, a season high guy that turns 30 in September. Owe him 42 million for the next 2 seasons. I will, if there it goes. There it goes.
Call from
Jim Miller.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay, here we go. Hello, Jim.
Yeah.
Hey, we got you on the air. D Nice is with me. You want to say hi to D Nice real quick?
What's up, D? How we doing, pal?
Hey, what's good, Jim? Good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, good to hear from you guys, man. Talking ball. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
so right
indeed.
now we've got a couple trade ideas, and one is for Kayvon Achane, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why we spun this wheel, is because the familiarity that he has with the running backs coach, and I think that he might provide something that we might not already have in the building. And I want to talk to you a little bit about Eric, because you have a relationship with him and why this might make sense. And then I'll tell you what we're offering for him and let me know what you think would be a good idea on this trade here.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at, Achane, well, I think just compare it to Ben Johnson and what he had in Detroit. Really they had Sonic and Knuckles, right, with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs and what Gibbs' skill set is. And I think Achane is similar to Gibbs. Now, obviously, Gibbs is a special player, but, you look at Achane, that's really his specialty. He's a top speed guy who can get to the edge on outside plays, or say if he gets the ball in his hands in space, like Jahmyr Gibbs, what they do with slip screens and running back screens and things like that. I think you would definitely carve out a role with Achane, because I know with the running backs coach there, like you said, there's a lot of familiarity, but I would think that's kind of would be a similar role. What Ben Johnson would see Achane as, what his roles would be. It'd be kind of like Jahmyr Gibbs and what they did with him in Detroit.
Wow. So we're getting that type of look now. That changes, and it makes a lot of sense with what D Nice was talking about, that explosiveness, that elusiveness, some things that we could really, tap into. And obviously, the success that he had in Miami, I mean, these numbers and line better than anybody. Would it be safe to say that our line is better than their line, and our offensive line coach is better than theirs, and so therefore potentially in theory he would have better numbers and play better with the Bears, right?
Yeah, I think the offensive line is going to settle. Obviously Drew Dahlman retiring kind of put a little bit of a hiccup in there, but he can always unretire too, and the Bears would have to cover that cap space. But right now, with the center position and the left tackle position, those are the only unknowns. I think with Tooney coming back, you got to believe the Bears want to get Darnell Wright back. And obviously with Jonah there at the right guard, 3/5 of the line is settled. But I think, with what they did trading for Garrett Bradbury, to me, he is Bears fans should know him. He was in the NFC North. He comes with a lot of playing experience. He's more of a zone blocking center for the type of offense that Ben Johnson wants to run. So I think that is covered. And now you're worried about left tackle. I think with Ozzie Trapillo, he will not be back to start the season. It's why they re-signed Braxton Jones. You still have Amagaji, who's he's very talented. He just hasn't played. He doesn't have a lot of experience. So I still think left tackle is a possibility, because that's still an unknown. But for the most part, it's settled. And, yeah, definitely better than Miami's offensive line, even with 3/5 of the guys back.
3/5 of a guy. You're making me thirsty talking about fifths. There's a guy right now that just donated $2 because he said that there is a great guy on the phone right now. So Jim Miller, next time I see you at a Bears watch party at Wind Creek Casino and Hotel, I owe you $2, brother. So, but
all right.
Yeah, man. So I love it when they do the super chat. Thank you, Slimbo Boogie. Now I will say this. So here's the trade that is floated. Okay. And I think this is from Chat Sports now from Harrison Graham. He said that he would like to see us trade Andre Swift and round 2 pick 57 for Devon Achane. Do you think that's a little too rich, or do you think that's about market value?
No, I think it's too rich, honestly. I do. I think running back position is a very fungible position. I'm not saying there aren't bell cow guys that, because clearly there are. Guys like Saquon Barkley is a bell cow guy. He certainly commands a franchise tag, and the Giants screwed up on him. I think it's why Jeremiah Love is only expected to be the first or the only running back taken in the first round. He's kind of, he's a unicorn. Saquon Barkley's a unicorn.
Yeah.
I don't think Achane's a unicorn. I think that's too rich, too high for a second round pick. Now, player for player, I think that's fine, but I think maybe a later round pick would go with it, like a 6 or a 7, not a high as a 2 when you're going to go player for player.
That's how far away this guy is. I mean, that is a big gap right there. Okay. So Harrison, if you're listening, dial it down a little bit, pal. You're way out in left field. Now let's talk right now about this next pick. You're going to say right now, Trax, you're out of your rocker. Okay. But here's the deal, off your rocker. Trade number 2 would be TJ Edwards. Now you're saying, Trax, we don't have any linebackers to give. We finally got this guy back. He's healthy, but here's the deal. If you trade him off, to Dallas, what we would get is a 5th round draft pick for him. Remember, we didn't get anything for Tremaine Edmonds, and we would get a 5th round, and they would get a 7th with TJ Edwards. What we're also getting in return, well, Dallas also gets a linebacker to pair with Overshown and gives Chicago back $6.2 million. So, we're strapped for cash, and this one might make a little bit more sense because we're trying to save dollars here, and $6.2 million is a lot. But as far as like the draft capital goes, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I think, I like the Bears' young linebackers.
Yeah.
I do. I think Noah Sewell has gotten a lot of playing experience. Okay. I think Jackson has gotten a lot of playing experience.
Yeah.
And if you want like a will linebacker who can do it all, like as for tackling, as for coverage, go look at the Pitt Panthers. Kyle, why is his last name escaping me? He was down at the Senior Bowl. The guy has played nickel also, for God's sake. But that is a weak side linebacker that is a lot like TJ Edwards, who makes a lot of plays, who's great in coverage. So I think there are guys that you can target in this draft where I think you would be comfortable moving on from TJ Edwards. And you're kind of swapping out your linebackers because the young guys behind them have gotten a lot of playing experience. The Bears like Noah Sewell. They like Jackson. That's why they re-signed him. Now go draft another young guy like the Pitt Panther and Kyle, who can make a ton of plays too, and start to build and develop this defense.
And as you're talking, D Nice is nodding his head yes. So he apparently knows the player that you're talking about right off the top of his dome. D Nice, you want to add to that?
Not only him, but it's a bunch of, like I said, Trash earlier. it's a ton of linebackers in this draft.
Yeah.
And the one he's talking about in particular, his name escapes me, but he jumps off the field when you look at him. He's a Pit Panther for sure.
Yeah.
But this guy is the real deal. They're not showing him a lot of love. You know what I'm saying?
Kyle Lewis, that's his
Yeah,
name.
that's him.
I
Cal
just
Lewis.
remembered.
There it is,
Kyle
right
Lewis.
there. Cal Lewis.
Kyle Lewis.
Dude, that kid is
Mhm.
awesome. He's a great player.
Yeah. He's a bit undersized, but in today's NFL, that's kind of like the trend. You need guys that's able to get out there in space and make tackles. And also, if he's been playing nickel, he's a hell of an athlete, man.
Now, Jim, this one.
Yeah, he's.
Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this one
Well,
view.
I'm just going to say he's about 230 pounds, which is, you're right. You're not going to see linebackers the size of Edmonds anymore. Edmonds could be 6'5", 250. These guys now, because they got to play in space and there's so many spread offenses, a lot of linebackers, they're going to be like the kid last year, who Cleveland drafted, who ended up being the defensive rookie of the year. That kid was a walk-on at UCLA. And, they're going to be 225, 230 pounds who can run all day long. And that's, it's kind of like in the Reuben Foster type of mold, or, like what linebackers are today. That's the size that they're going to be. And that's what Kyle Lewis is right now. He is a really good football player who's compact, but he makes a ton of plays.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're talking to The Voice. You're listening to The Voice, none better than Jim Miller, former quarterback, Bears, and he's been in the league for about 20 years, just soaking in all this information to talk with us right now. Now, I will say this, Mr. Slow Paper is talking about Soul being slow. Maybe he was injured, he'd say. Is that a possibility why he thinks that Noah Sewell was slow?
Yeah, I think he did have an injury. I don't know if it was his foot or whatever, but, when you look at, Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, he likes to move guys around. If you remember last year, he actually had, through camp, he had Edmonds play the weak side backer spot, and he put TJ Edwards at the mic. So it's really about the more you can do. He's going to experiment with guys and put them out of their position to see if they're able to handle it and if they can do more. So if you do have an injury, like say for Noah Sewell can play the will backer, he can play Mike, and if they were, not to be in a 4-2 and he had to play Sam, he can play strong side backer as well. I think he wants them to learn to play all the positions. But if you're too undersized, sometimes you can't play that strong side.
Yeah.
But definitely the Mike and the Will, they have to be interchangeable.
So it is a possibility that we could move on from Tremaine. It sounds like there is somebody in the draft for that. Lewis sounds like he could fit the mold. He sounds like he's definitely a hard worker, but I think he might be gone, before pick 57. So are you going to get him with 25 or are you going to move up? Where would this draft pick land? And are the Bears, could they pull him off? Could they pull it off?
Yeah, I don't think the Bears would take him the first round. I think that'd be a little bit of a reach for him.
Yeah.
But I definitely can see him going in the second round.
Okay.
Now if he's able to sneak past, maybe the Bears feel, like you said, at 57, maybe they got to jump up a couple of spots to get him.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot to give for compensation. If you were to drop or to jump up from, say, like 57 to 45, you'd have an opportunity to potentially nab them.
What would that cost off the top of your dome? Could you give us a little possibility there?
I don't think it'd be much.
Okay.
You'd probably give a conditional draft pick, a conditional later round pick. So say from 57 up to 45, you're not looking at a lot of spots there. What is that? Like, 9 spots essentially.
I got you.
And so, yeah, I think you give up a conditional later round pick, like a conditional 5th or a conditional 6th would get you up there.
Okay, yeah, and I could see that because we got 2 7s, so maybe we slide and move back later on to make up for that. And I could see what you're talking about for sure, especially if you can get a guy in there that's going to take a lot of snaps and move, the needle in the right direction, right, D-Nice?
Yes, indeed. Last the last couple of mock drafts that I've done, they have Kyle Lewis like projected as like a fourth round pick. I think
Fourth
that's a
rounder.
little,
Wow.
yeah, they have, but
Yeah, but that's prior to him going to the Senior Bowl. When you
absolutely.
go
No,
down
you're
to the
absolutely
Senior
correct, Jim.
Bowl, yeah,
You're
yeah,
absolutely correct.
guys will move up. He is definitely a guy like, say, Carson Wentz. When Carson Wentz went there, nobody
Mhm.
thought he was going to be a second overall pick, but guys could typically jump a round or two, and I think that's how well Kyle Lewis did at the Senior Bowl. He is going to move up the draft board. So if they've got him projected as a fourth, I do think he's definitely a third, and he probably worked himself into the second round. Is where I
Yeah.
see it.
Wow.
He's definitely in my top five. I got Reese and I got Sonny Styles, I got Jake Golday, Cal Lewis, and
Yeah, I like those.
Perkins out of LSU. Those are my top five linebackers coming
Yep.
out of the draft.
Yeah, it's a good list, man. That's a real good list.
You guys are making my job easy over here. Let's move on to the next one. Trade number 3, Kayvon, or for edge, we would have Kayvon Thibodeaux. Kayvon, and this guy's interesting because I really like this guy. He's always been somebody that I've looked at, and now we could potentially work him over. Now, I will say this seems like a little bit rich, but I'll ask Jim because that's who we got on the show. And Jim Miller is the voice you're listening to, not right now, but in a second, the voice of reason. Kayvon Thibodeaux and a round 6, pick 185. Dallas receives round 389 from us. Is Kayvon Thibodeaux worth us also a 6th rounder from us for a round 3? So we would get a 6 and Kayvon Thibodeaux for our third round pick.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about Thibodeaux, obviously he was drafted in the first round by the Giants. He's a very eccentric personality. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I think you really got to do your homework on him to see if he fits in the locker room. Say like last year, say Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Everybody was worried about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? He's had trouble with his teammates any place he ever played, right? And obviously Dennis Allen knew him. You know, he certainly plays with a lot of fire and a lot of passion, but he's known to rub some guys the wrong way.
Man.
And I just think for Kayvon Thibodeaux, is he going to be a type of guy that's going to be accepted in the locker room? Do guys like him because of his eccentric personality? He's just a different type of guy. You know, there's all types of guys out there, but I think, is he a fit personally with your team? And only the Bears coaches, once they interview him and talk to him, would understand that if he is a good guy, that they'd welcome him, because the talent's there. Certainly the talent's there with Thibodeaux and why he went so high in the draft.
I mean, that makes a little bit more sense. D Nice, you know, that there's a take that we could definitely marinate on, but
For sure.
For a 3rd round draft pick, you might have to throw that out there just to get a guy like this. I think that there's a market out there for him, and people might be looking at things like this. So maybe this trade idea is not that far off.
Well, if you can get him for a 3rd, you know, he's 1st round talent.
Yeah.
But again, is he a fit for your football team personality wise? That's what I think the coaching staff would really have to ask themselves.
I got you.
And let me piggyback off of what Jim is saying. Okay, Jim is speaking from a perspective of in the locker room and kind of off the field. On the field, the guy's production has fell off since 23 tremendously. Number one, he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah.
And number 2, the sack production just not there. I'm not giving a 3rd round pick to the Giants for a guy that has only given you 8 sacks in the last 2 years. I just can't do it.
Well, and the reason why, D Nice, you're right, because they traded for Brian Burns. They drafted Abdul Carter. Why would they draft Abdul Carter? You know, so I think there's some issues there with Thibodeaux. So, you know, I think you're all over it. That's why they drafted Carter.
So maybe we keep our 6th and trade a 4th or something like that. Maybe that's where D Nice is going with it. Maybe a later draft pick, or
Yeah,
maybe
I don't think. Yeah, I think the compensation doesn't have to be as high because that commodity is, like he's available for a reason.
Yeah.
And so you want to get the best price possible, and I would think you guys are in the ballpark there. That it'll be a later round pick.
Okay. Now I will say, Mr. Slow Paper, he says that met y'all at Wind Creek Casino. Will there be a draft party? Man, I'll tell you what, Mr. Slow Paper, were you in our freaking messages earlier? We were just talking about this. There may or may not be. There's been talks, discussions. Stay tuned in the days to follow because we might have something special for you. But right now, we can't confirm anything. We can not confirm nor deny, but there's some interesting talks going on about that. So that'd be a whole lot of fun to hang out, especially day one, right, Jim?
Oh yeah. Well, the first round, that's where it's all at. It's prime time, Thursday night. It's why the NFL moved it to prime time. Everybody's watching. Everybody gets to play GM for their team, who they take and when they take. And here the Bears are in the mid-20s, so they'll be waiting a little bit, which is a good thing. It means that they've been winning. But will they trade up? Will they trade out of the first round to get more assets? Or will they just stand pat and take their pick of what they feel is the best football player to help their team? It's that's why Thursday night there's a lot of storylines and a lot of excitement in the first round because that really is going to be your most impactful player for your team draft-wise.
Jim Miller, I got a question for you. Here's trade number 4 out of 5. We're almost done. I know you got to get going. You're a busy man. You're a mover and a shaker. Trade number 4 is defensive back Tyreek Stevenson. Tyreek the Freak. Now, here's the deal with this guy. We are looking at trading Tyreek Stevenson to the Kansas City Chiefs for their 5th round draft pick. Why this makes sense? Kansas City needs to replace Watson and McDuffie in that room and give Chicago some room to clear to include newer, younger cornerbacks if we can pull this off. What say you? Is this something that we should explore, a 5th round draft pick? Do you think we could net this?
Yeah, I think you explore it. I think there's no doubt that Tyreek Stevenson was unhappy with his role. He wants to play in a more press man role.
Yeah.
Which is what Kansas City does a lot more defensively. Dennis Allen had him playing a little bit more off coverage this year, which what Stevenson doesn't like. And if a player's unhappy, I've got to be honest. I remember Dick Duran when we first showed up and Dick Duran became the head coach. He made it perfectly clear. If you do not like it here and you don't like being a Chicago Bear, then I don't want to coach you. I don't want you to be a part of this team if your heart's not in it, and how we utilize you and what your role is going to be for this team. And it sounds like Tyreek Stevenson is not happy with his role. And, I think if a player is, doesn't want to be there, I think you move on. So I think you get as much as you can. If it is a 5th round pick, I think the Bears would potentially, look at that trade and think it's a possibility. It'd be good for Kansas City, and I think it'd be good for the Chicago Bears.
How do you feel about this one, D Nice? Can I get your co-signing on this, or are you still? Would you like to see Tyreek here another year? D Nice. Oh, something happened. Did he? He's out of the building. Maybe he
drop off on him.
No, maybe he really likes. Apparently that's a no deal for him. He left. No, he'll be back. So here's trade number 5. We got and I don't know much about this guy. Maybe you could help me out because I know you've done some things for with the Eagles. Defensive lineman Moro Ojomo. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Ojomo.
Okay. Yeah. So I think they're looking at, and I was talking to D Nice about this, his productivity and what he did in terms of volume, where he didn't have a whole lot of snaps, but what he did in that time was pretty productive. And so at Ojomo, Philly has a D line, and cap space problems, and it gives Chicago a much needed D-line piece. What we would have to give up for him is a 3rd round pick at 89. And, is that a little rich for you? Where are you at with this? Do you think he could help out our ball club?
Yeah, I think he can help. The Bears certainly have a need at defensive tackle, but no, I would not trade a 3rd for him personally. I think this draft is loaded with edge rushers, and there are very good defensive tackles in this draft. I think if the Bears want to target a defensive tackle, say like even Kelvin Banks, the Bears could pick him in the 1st round, right where they're sitting. So I think they would be much more prone to draft a guy than say to trade right now. And I do like the experience and all that, but I just think it's foundationally, I would want to draft a defensive tackle, and I think the best ones would be in the 1st and 2nd round that the Bears could target. And they'd be much greater, I should say, players with potential that you're really trying to develop is how I would see it.
Okay, so for you, this is a no trade deal, and I'm on board with you on this. I don't know how many, 3rd round picks Chat Now Sports thinks we have. I'm very glad that Harrison Graham is not our GM. He just wants to trade all our picks away for these guys that aren't even moving the needle that much, man. I mean, what's going on here? Yeah. So I think it's sabotage.
Well, even look at the Eagles. Supposedly Jalen Carter could be traded by them. The only thing with Jalen Carter is, remember, he has the shoulder issues, but that is a great talent. That maybe, if he is available, I think he's got a degenerative issue with his shoulders, but if he's got 2 or 3 good years left, if the compensation's right, maybe he's available. I much prefer him over the other Eagles player if Carter is available.
And this listener, Ad Rock, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram or X app, Chicago Sports Podcast, to win a jersey, man. That's all you got to do. Message me, Ad Rock 922. Everybody knows about these jerseys. They're real nice, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe and share a picture with me. But he's saying that Caleb Banks broke his foot again, so no on Banks for him. So this is the 2nd time this guy has broke his foot? Wow.
Yeah, he's got a medical issue. Well, he broke it at the combine, so I don't think he broke it again. I think they addressed it at the combine, and really for him, it's got to be something. A lot of times, I don't want to speculate, but typically it's a 5th metatarsal in your foot. It's something that's very correctable. It just takes a screw that they got to put in there.
Sure,
but possibly that would be what could rectify that. So, well, with that, Brandon, I got to roll. Boy.
Okay, man.
I got to talk to my boys.
Yep, absolutely, man.
So
always a pleasure.
Me.
Yeah, thank you. And let's do this again soon, man. Take it easy.
All right. Hope to be at Wind Creek with you on draft night.
That would be great, man. That'd be a pleasure. You make my job easy and a lot of fun. All right. See you later, Jim Miller.
All right, bud.
All right. See you. All right, so that was Jim Miller, and former Chicago Bear legend. Great to have him on, and hopefully we can do some more live mic calls. So he just left. Now we are going to get into our mock draft simulator. I'm sure D Nice will circle back and get in here once he can. Probably some technical issues, no big deal. He's fine. Glad we could have him on when we did. And now we are going to fire up my mock draft simulator. You guys know we have to do it, man. You guys know we got to do it. It's like a fat kid and cake, You can't pass that up. You just can't pass it up, Trex, can you? Nope, I sure can't. So here we go. We're going to get it going. We're going to get going right now. All right. Let's slide this bad boy over here. Bamola. Uh-huh. Nice to be here. First time. I will subscribe. Thanks, Ad Rock. Appreciate you, man. All we want to do is grow and make this community bigger, man. This is a show created from a fan to fan, so your voice can be heard, man. Call in. Like I said, guys, all you've got to do is call in. I will pick up the phone just like I did from Jim Miller. You do not have to be a former or current Chicago Bear in order for your voice to be heard. No, 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 no. We take any and all calls, and you never know who's going to call. We've had plenty of calls. 872-256-1424. If you want your voice to be heard on a mock draft simulator and be the first chance to be the first pick, so you could pick the first pick on our mock draft simulator, call 872-256-1424. Leave a message, comment, or question for the show, man. That's all you got to do. You can even call when we're off the show, and we will put you on, guys. All right, so here we go. We're firing it up. Firing this bad boy up, man. That's what we're going to do. All right, here we go. Here we go. Bamola. And we're rolling. Okay. Already, we got the trades fired up. Jax wants 56, 81, 88, and next year's second. The Giants want 37, 105, and next year's second. They want to give that to us, 41 and 72. All those are too rich for me. And guess what? Your boy Peter Woods is on the block. He is available right now. He is available right now, ladies and gentlemen. Could you put Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson, in the building? Make him a Chicago Bear. Could you do it? Would your conscience be okay with that? Would that be the guy that you want as your first-round draft pick? Would it? Let me know right after I show you this video. Let me know. Is that the guy that you want on your team? Would you want Peter Woods in the first round? Are you okay with that? Let me know. Take Peter at 25. Guess what? You're a shot caller, Mr. Paper. Why is your name Mr. Slow Paper? I got to know, man. I'm curious. We're getting Peter Woods. First time guy on the show. Okay. First time. I'm going to make it happen. Do that right now. Make sure you subscribe, okay? I picked your guy. See, your voice was heard, and we made a selection. Now, are you guys okay trading 57 and 169 for 63 and 92? The trade value that they're offering us is 125. Ours is 115. So we get 10 extra, okay? That's quite a bit. Are you guys cool with that, or is this time to make a pick right now? I mean, we go from 129 to almost 130 to almost 90. I think that's pretty good, But you guys got to let me know if this is worth, the squeeze. What do you guys think? You guys want this? Or do you want to pick? So we got AJ Halsey available for LSU safety. Slow paper because I like to invest money. Fast money is not good. Okay. I like that. That's cool. I like it. Adrock said makes a trade. So we're going to make the trade. Here we go. We're accepting the trade, ladies and gentlemen. His voice was heard. See how that works? We're not trading with the enemy. And I don't really like this trade because I don't have a third round next year. I don't get to see that blossom on this. We don't have a what I call, we don't have anything outside of this year. Okay, this is not a dynasty mock draft. So here's who's available now at pick 60. We got Caleb Banks, Sam Hatched, offensive center, Kansas State, wide receiver, Clemson, Antonio Williams, offensive tackle, Demetrius Crowner, Mike Washington, running back, Arkansas, and you have Julian Neal, cornerback, Jennings Dunker, and Grace Halton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. I wouldn't mind getting Grace Halton at defensive tackle at 63, but at 60, how do you guys feel about getting Sam Hatched center at Kansas State. Where are you guys at in this trade, right, or in this draft right now? What do you guys want to see? Where do you want your money to go? Huh? I'll tell you right now, I'd like to get Sam Hatched, center from Kansas State. I mean, that's a good one, right? That's a good pick there, I'd say. Oh. So, yeah, what's the chat saying? What do we want in this situation? What do we want in this situation? Again, Caleb Banks, Sam Hetched, Antonio Williams, Demetrius Crowner, Mike Washington, Julian Neal, and Jennings Dunker. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this? Hmm. Is there everybody there? Come on, Dougie. Somebody speak up. Oh, there we go. Edge is always good. Julian Neal, especially if they trade Stevenson. Caleb Banks. You guys just told me to not get Caleb Banks with the broken foot. You guys said don't get Caleb Banks. He broke his foot. Now you guys want me to draft him? I make it make sense. I'll make the choice for you guys, but Julian Neal, cornerback. Okay, here's D Nice. He's gonna help us figure this out here. Let me get him in the building really quick here. There he is. Oh, I just took him. What am I doing? There we go. What's up, D Nice?
What's good? What's good? Sorry about the technical difficulties, man. I thought I had my phone charging, but the charge is worth it was a piece of crap.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing here? Are we doing a Diddy mock draft? You in the bed already, bro? What's
Oh
going
no,
on
this
here?
this this ain't Diddy motion right here, brother. This is just I had to just change the location real quick. Nah, this not Diddy motion right here.
I hear you. He said, stay away from Caleb Banks. They said the broken foot. One guy wanted him. Stay away, damaged goods. They're worried. Stay away from Banks. So right now, what we're looking at, and just so you know, we're going to catch you up to speed real quick. Okay, we got Peter Woods at pick 25, defensive tackle Clemson. Picked him
Not
up. So
bad.
now we've got not bad, right? And then we
Yeah.
traded 57 into 60 and we moved 129 into 92. We traded with New England Patriots. So we did pretty good there. We moved almost up 30 spots.
Yeah.
And all we gave up is 3, really. So, but right now what we're trying to see, D Nice, is what we're going to do here. And this is what we have available. We have Caleb Banks out of Florida. With Peter Woods already in mind, what we picked up. Sam Hetched, center, Kansas State. Antonio Williams, Clemson, wide receiver. Demetrius Crowner, offensive tackle. Mike Washington Jr., running back, Arkansas. Julian Neal, what somebody said in the chat, cornerback, Arkansas. Jennings Dunker, guard, Iowa. Grace Halton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma, and Josiah Trotter, linebacker, Missouri. Now, I will say this. I think at 63, which should be our next pick, if Grace Halton's there, I might double down on defensive tackle. But at pick 60, who would you like to pick up out of these guys? Or is there somebody else that you might want to reach for?
I've done a ton of mock drafts, and for the record, let me just say this: my pick at 25 was the safety out of Toledo, McNeil
Okay.
Warren. I picked defensive tackle and edge,
Okay.
and with the next 2 second round picks. But since we're here,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, Warren was already gone.
Yeah. I figured as much, but
Okay.
since we're here, Peter Wood's not a bad pick though. But since we're here, a double down at offensive tackle is not the worst thing in the world. But
Yeah.
um, we have to address the safety issue, man. We have to
Safety.
um safety, safety or edge. But I'm thinking safety. Um, I think the safety issue has to be addressed. We need someone to play next to this star free agent that we acquired from Seattle. It's important that we have a young stud that played next to him.
Kamari Ramsey at 70. We could pick him up at 63 if you want to jump that far, or we could wait later at 93 and go pick somebody up like Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina or Bud
hmm
Clark, something like that, or
Let's
even wait a little bit
let's
later and go
let's
pick
look at who's the best available. Let's
or
let's look at best
best
available.
available for safety or
No,
overall.
just period all around.
Caleb Banks is best available, and then it's Sam Hedge center is what it is,
Um,
and
the
then wide
center,
receiver,
the
offensive
center,
tackle.
that center is very good.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was saying.
and I do plan on taking a wide receiver. Travel to call me crazy.
No.
But um, no, center is very good. But the wide receiver I'm thinking about is further down the line. But
What about Julian Neal? Somebody said that guy out of cornerback out of Arkansas. His numbers pop right off the screen right away,
mhm,
almost a 10 RAS and 6'2", 203.
yeah, Neil
Um,
Neil Neil's very good.
yeah,
But
what
I think at this pick, we need somebody that's going to make the making an immediate impact right away.
okay.
So
But I don't
heads,
say I wouldn't say that Hetched would be because he almost
mm-mm,
feels like he's
he-
got to work
he's
towards
not.
getting that,
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
especially out
But
of what we just heard from Jim Miller.
why not double down with Banks? What's wrong with Banks? You said a broken foot.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, well, that's what Jim was saying also too. For
hmm
he did it in a pro day, is what it was,
hmm
or the combine. I forgot which one of the two. He just said that. So, but here's the deal: that the Bears have already been kicking the tires on Grayson Halton in Oklahoma, and I heard he's pretty reliable and solid at 65. So you could still get somebody way before that and go ahead and double down at defensive tackle at 63, and pick 60 could be whoever you want it to be, north of that pick is
All
what I
right, tracks. I'm gonna throw a wrench in this thing, and I
okay.
know guys
No,
gonna laugh at me. You
no.
know how I feel about running backs, right?
Yeah.
That guy, Mike Washington Jr.,
Uh-huh.
absolute stud.
Absolute stud.
He
Okay.
belongs with Ben Johnson
Uh-huh.
for sure. He had a hell of a
He's got a
combine. The
he's got a
measurable,
10 RAS, dude. Like a
yes,
10 flat RAS,
yes,
6'1", 223,
yes,
was one of the
yes.
nation's most efficient runners in 2025, securing a PFSN run impact grade of 88.6, rumbling 1,070 yards, 8 touchdowns on over 6 yards per carry, which I know that's big for you. He thrived in the SEC. He looks got good ball. He's got to improve on his ball security, high end short area agility and hip fluidity. Nonetheless, instinctive runner who knows how to maximize his skill set and can finish runs with physicality and punishing leg churns. He also competent pass catcher with RAC chops on swings and screens, and he holds up. He sounds like a guy that wow. So he sounds like it says a spark plug. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let me see what the chat's saying right now about picking him at the second.
I know they're gonna kill me for that one.
One guy says this guy knows fumbles a lot though. Best be careful. I don't know about a lot, but it says that he needs to improve on his ball security. I think that if he fumbles a lot, but also keep in mind though, the more carries you get, the more fumbles that went up. A lot of guys last year that everybody was high on had a lot of fumbles that were in first round draft picks. I
Well,
mean, right off the one that went to the Raiders, he had the most fumbles.
well, you know, he didn't fumble. He didn't fumble at all. He had the least fumbles. Genty. Yeah,
Yeah,
Genty had the least fumbles. Yeah. But ball security is a huge thing, but that's what coaching is for, man.
yeah.
That's what your coaching is for. And but this guy is an absolute monster, man. He's a
Mhm.
stud for sure. But I know how the rest of the world feels about running backs. Is a lot different than me. But hey, that guy's one of them. He's one of them guys, man. But
Really?
yeah, but me personally, okay, if you don't want to take the running back, let's look at edge, and then we gonna make a decision. I just want to see edge, see what we got at edge, and we can make a decision after.
Oh, I know why. I just looked it up. Because the game that I watched was the last one, and he had 2 fumbles against Penn State. That's why I was like,
Mhm.
man, this guy fumbles a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, so okay, so what was your deciding
Let's look
fact?
at edge. Let's look at
Edge?
edge, and we
Okay,
can make a decision.
let's make it. Yeah, let's make a decision. Joshua Josephs, edge out of Tennessee, pick 74. Feel like we could get him at 63 if we really want to get an edge. Now linebacker,
That guy
Josiah,
under him, Gabe Yakis.
yeah, Jackus. Yep, we
Hmm.
picked we picked him before out of Illinois. We've seen a lot of ball from him locally. Um, so yeah, if you're looking at the defensive side of the ball, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, like I said, you got Caleb Banks, Grayson Holton for that edge. You could pick later. I mean, really, you could trade this back and do some damage here. Cornerback, like I said, that one guy wants Julian Neal from Arkansas,
He's
and
not a
then
bad player.
yeah,
Julian is a good player, but
yeah,
it's some cornerbacks in those later rounds that I've looked at
hmm,
that are pretty dang on good too. But
hmm,
man, I would in this pick, second round pick,
yeah,
I would double down in the trenches, man. I
double down in the
mean,
trenches,
yeah, we need it, man.
offense or defense.
Nah, defense, man.
Defense.
I would go with Caleb Banks, man. I would
Caleb
do that.
Banks. Okay, we're gonna go with Caleb Banks. All right, we went Caleb Banks. There we go. So now they want to trade our 63rd pick for 64 and next year's fourth. I'm not really happy about that because we can't do nothing with that, but I will counter and see if we can do something here. I don't think we can't. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, boys. Oh, 188. That's way later. Way later. Yeah, they're highly unlikely not going to do that at all. So we're not going to trade with them. We're going to take our pick. We're going to take our
Mhm.
pick is what we're going to do right now. So, yeah. So now that that is done, Grace and Halton is automatically not a pick that we're going to go after, I'd say, because we got our new 2 defensive tackles. Now we really got to do something. Our next pick after this is pick 89. Not far away, but it's a little. There's a lot of players in between then that could jump off this board here. So let's
Mhm.
get back here, and look at what we've got available. And this is what we have available to pick from. Again, Hatched Williams. You got your Washington running back, Julian Neal, Jennings Dunker, Grayson Halton, Will Lee, Kamari Ramsey. Kamari's going to be gone if we don't get him now. If you want to get a safety and you want to get him early, you might want to pick him now. D Nice.
Safety rich draft. It was only one guy that I felt was worthy of that first round pick, and that's the McNeil Warren out of Toledo.
Yeah.
But for me,
You want to wait on a safety? Pick him at 89, maybe? Mm.
I'm thinking Gold Day right here. Gold Day uh or a safety, but the linebacker out of
Oh, Jake Golday out of Cincinnati.
yeah.
You want to move 20 spots? Well, I could trade with somebody and get someone at
What do
73,
they have him? They have him what at like 83, 89?
83. Let's look at linebackers and see what's best linebacker available since you're thinking linebackers. So this is what we got. Oh, wow. It's going to be a minute. Jake Galladay at 83, Deontay Lawson at 91, Aiden Fisher at 113. So yeah, that's where we're at with
Let's
linebackers.
see where we're at edge, man.
At
I mean,
edge. Okay. Yeah.
let's make the people happy.
Josiah Josephs, Edge, Tennessee is what's there. And then Gabe Jacques, but that's at 85. That's at 85. Uh, I mean, do we take and explore offensive line? Do we do that right now?
You want to go interior? You want to go center?
We could go Caleb Tiernan 76, or we could go guard Jennings Dunker, pick 74, Iowa. Could he slide out, or could we jump a little bit, only 12 spots, and get Kalon Rutledge out of Georgia Tech? No, you want to go center
Nah.
and pick Hetched? I mean, that's BPA basically, best player available.
Is he the best player available?
Yeah, pick 56. Absolutely, I would say. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
best player available. And then it's a receiver, and then your running back.
Why not? Let's go get that. Let's go get that.
Hatched. Okay. So
Yeah.
we're fortifying the trenches, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say we didn't do our due diligence and go out and get a guy or two from the defensive line is what I'd say. 89 for 95. And then we're going to trade our 239 also for their 129. New England likes doing business with the Chicago Bears. Their
89 for
value,
95 plus 120.
yeah,
Oh,
and we're giving them our 239. That's 59 value offered to our 48. We get plus 11. They get minus 11.
I kind of like that.
Let's do it. All right, we pulled the pin. Now we've really got to make a pick. How about we go Jadarian Price, running back from Notre Dame at 92.
Who's under him?
Daryl Jackson, defensive tackle, and then cornerback Malik Muhammad, Bryce Lance, wide receiver, North Dakota State, offensive tackle Drew Shelton. I wouldn't be mad at that. Penn State at all. And then Deontay Lawson, linebacker, Alabama. I wouldn't be mad at Deontay Lawson either. But you look at the value, though. You pick Jadarian Price right now at 92, and we got a pick right now at 95 also. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we got extra picks to play with now. You
Yeah.
put Jadarian Price on the team, man. I tell a lot of people, you guys got to go look at that tape. You know, you guys keep looking. Here's the deal. When you look at Notre Dame, it doesn't jump off because you're not looking at a guy like Love, okay? Everybody knows Jeremiah Love, but if you really look at what he does when he gets the ball, it's simply amazing. He does a great job. I wouldn't be surprised if they both go in the first round, and I don't know why he's going on 82, but I think that's good value there for sure.
Let's visit safety.
Safety. All right, let's go to safety. Safety, we've got Jalen Kilgore, South Carolina. I like this guy, 6'1", 210. He can play cornerback, nickel, box safety, and field safety, man. High intelligence and vision, football IQ, all traits, man. All really good traits. He's called a ball hawk, too. I mean, if you want to get a safety, I would say right now this is the best one available.
Bud is nice.
You like Bud Clark? You could get him at 95.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll double back. But I like Bud.
All right. You got to get a linebacker, bro. Jake Galladay just got picked up by the Bills.
Damn.
I'd say Deontay Lawson. He was in your top 5, bro.
Yeah.
You got Kyle Lewis though at pick 130. Got 130 there.
Yeah,
you can pick him up later.
Yeah, we can hold on. Let's go to
But I don't know though, because your last pick is 129, and that's where you got to get a linebacker. Otherwise, it gets really ugly. But I do like Caleb Lerns or from TCU. I think that guy's going to be special. So where are you at? What do you want to do?
Price is still there. Who's under him?
Darrell Jackson, defensive tackle. Let's see what the chat's saying, man. We'll see what the chat's got to say.
Yeah.
Jackus, Galladay or Jackus. Take it. Good trade. Wheeling and dealing. That's all I saw last.
Jackus is still there? No.
Edge. No, we've got Derek Moore and Overton, Edge, Alabama. And
I like Derek Moore.
Lucas is available for USC. I like Derek Moore also.
I like Lucas too. But I like that. I like Moore a little better.
Yeah. And we could pick him at 95 if you want. So he should still be available because he's 110 right now and we're at 92, 95. So we go 92, 95 next. So our next pick has to be an edge, but who would you get now? 92. I would say linebacker. Go linebacker and then go edge, bro. You can't go wrong. Go Deontay Lawson. That's one of your top 5 linebackers, bro. And then at 129, get your safety. So go linebacker, edge, safety, right?
Let's do
All right, here we go. Linebacker. Oh, we're not trading with you. We're not trading.
it.
Okay, so you good with Derek Moore or do you want Overton?
Derek Moore.
Derek Moore. Okay. There we go. Now, here we go. Once we get up to 129, you want to trade? No. Okay. So now what we're looking at is safety. Let's go to safety. We already know what we want. We have a plan. Zakee Wheatley. I mean, dude, could you imagine? Mind blown. We'd get 3 Penn State safeties in a row.
Yeah.
Adrian Amos, and then freaking, oh, that'd be crazy, right? What's
Yeah,
going on in Chicago?
I
Michael,
really like VJ Payne, but
you like
he's down
Payne?
there. Yeah, I
He's
like
down.
VJ Payne.
He's down at 169. I mean, we would literally have to trade away 129 to get probably around 149, 150 and get one. Well, I mean, we could do that. We could get 2 more draft picks for the price of this one if there's somebody available that wants to trade us that. Because really, I think the only guy that's big on your list right now is getting a safety. So if you want to get 1 extra draft pick right now and match your safety,
There's a receiver. There's a receiver I like.
Okay. Let's go look at receivers. Keep in mind we haven't got any interior offensive linemen or tackles. So I just wanted to make that clear. I will look at receiver right now. Wide receiver. We got Malachi Fields, Notre Dame. Kevin Coleman, Missouri. Deion Burks, Oklahoma.
Deion Burks. There
Deion
we
Burks.
go.
143. Yeah. Let's trade away 129 and see if we can't get a couple and get Deion Burks and go get your safety at the same time. Let's try to propose a trade. Wheeling and dealing, baby. Wheeling and dealing. Let's go. Okay, so 129. Let's trade away with the Saints. 136.
Yeah, they need all the help they can get.
That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, New Orleans Saints. Confirm. 129. 132. Likely to accept. Oh, they didn't do that. They might go 150 now. Oh, highly unlikely. What if I slide you a 7th from next year or a 6th? Likely trade. Okay, what about 172 for my 240? You know what? I'm not even going to trade with you, knuckleheads. You just can't even make this happen. Whoa. Wait a minute. What if we go 136? Okay. We might be onto something here.
Whoa. Don't give up too much. Yeah. Yeah, and give up a future third or something. Don't give up the keep the 7th and give up a future third. They usually make things happen. A future third. There you go. 4th. There it is.
There it is. All right. Done deals. Confirms it. All right. Confirms it. Now we rejects. Okay. So right now at 132, we can go ahead and get your guy. Well, wait a second. 132 and 136. We can go get Deion Burks at the next pick after is what I'd say. So we got to make this count. Because after this, the draft's over. We got 2 picks and the draft's over.
Let's get a safety, man.
Get a safety. Let's go get your safety. Guys, let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button. I don't see enough likes on here. All right, so we're going to go get Payne is what we're going to get. Or listen, why don't we double down on 135, 136 and go get a one around 150?
That'll work.
Yeah, let's do that. So what do we do at 132? We're still good at safety right now. Let's go get your receiver. Let's just make sure they get this receiver that you really want to get in Deion Burks. And that's 140. We could trade 2 of these away. We could trade 2 of these. That's a lot of work. Let's just go ahead and get them right now. I don't want to. Yeah, let's get you. And you swear that Burks is better than Kevin Coleman and Malachi Fields.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more explosive than Fields.
5'10", 180. Per
And he can help us out with the return game as well. Even
okay.
though I know we got Khalif Raymond, but
All right, done deal. That's a wrap. So 136 already. People are on the horn with us. Philly wants to trade 136 for 137 and 215. Let's see if we can counter and get something a little better than that. Maybe we can get 178. Ooh, they came way off on that. They're like, no, sir. Let's go ahead
I
and
like that though. Yeah, that's cool.
accept this trade. What's cool? Ooh. Now we get 2 picks now. 147. We could still get your safety, and then we'll move up to 187. 18 for 19 is a value offer. I don't think that they didn't do that good of a job to help us out. Yeah, we're going backwards here. We're giving up 19, they're giving up 18. So we're giving up more than we're getting. We're going to reject this. All right. So here we go. 137 is what we got right now. And we got your okay, so safety it is. Are you sure you have to you're sold on this VJ Payne? You can't go Michael Tafe out of Texas?
I like VJ Payne better, but Taft is a very good player.
Taft's a very good player. Okay. Hold on. Maybe I got one more trade left in me. What about let's see if the Cardinals will trade with us. Let's see if the Cardinals. All right, Arizona Cardinals, that's easy. Alphabetical order. 137, 143. Let's try 183. Nope. 217s ago. I think we'll get it. Wait a second. What about if we go 183 and 215 here? Yes. I like that. But we're already giving up 6. And then okay, what is it? We're giving up 19 to their 20. So we win that one. All right, let's do it. Trade rejected, you jerks. Ooh, hate that, bro. Let's just go get Payne. Let's get Payne. Forget it. I'll get the guy you need. So we'll trust you. Jade on tap for a breakout season. How do you feel that take? That's a hot take right there, man. Sideline Sports. They were there with me today.
I love it. I love it.
I do too. Sideline Sports and Entertainment, man. Check those guys out. We partnered with them. They were there today for the Will Purdue autograph,
Nice.
for the opening of the brand new sports book there at Wind Creek Casino. The casino that we've partnered with, Chicago Sports Podcast. All right, 215 here. Here we go. All best available.
What we got?
Safety, defensive tackle, tight end, QB, cornerback, Andre Fuller, Toledo, edge, running back, Jamarian Miller, Alabama, linebacker, Owen Hinkie, defensive tackle, cornerback, edge. What are you looking at, man? What do you want? Where do you want to go with this one?
Edge, man. Let's see
Edge?
what's up.
Get another edge. Okay.
Or corner. Let's see corner. Corner's pretty deep.
You got Mason Rain out of Wisconsin and Caden Curry out of Ohio State.
Now, corner. Let's go to corner.
Corner. Okay. Andre Fuller, Toledo. Hold on. Let me pull this up so you can get the names better. Andre Fuller, Toledo, Jaden Kennedy, Oregon, Azillan Hamilton, Fresno State, Colin Wright, Stanford, Ricardo Hallman, Wisconsin, Torian Pride, Missouri. Any of these names jump off at you?
The kid out of Toledo is pretty good.
Toledo, let's take a look at Holy Toledo here. 6'1", 200, 9.20 RAS. That's all I got on him. I mean, there you go. If you want to get him, let's go. Or you get an offensive. We've only got a center in this draft, right?
Yeah.
You got any late round offensive linemen that stand out for you?
Is DJ Campbell? Is DJ Campbell up there?
What position?
I think it's guard.
Guard. You got Logan Taylor, Boston College, Delby Lemieux for guard. DJ Campbell, Texas. There you go. That's your guy. 6'3", 313. 321 on this one. Powerful frame, natural anchor, giving him high floor draft prospect. With improved technique and footwork, Campbell has the potential to develop into a dependable, power-driven guard to the next level. However, athletic limitations, slight cap ceiling projects to be a depth piece in immediate timeline. So, I'm telling you, if you think this guy could play multiple positions other than guard, we take him.
Well, I mean, he can play both guard spots. I see.
Okay.
I don't know about center, but
Okay.
definitely both guard spots.
What about any of these tackles? Do any of these guys ring a bell?
Let
No.
me see. I can't really. What we got?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up for you. Oh, crap. I went the other way. There we go. Amel Wagner, Riley Mallman, Chris Adams, Alan Heron, Travis Burke, Nolan Rootsey. Any of these guys? No?
Nah, I mean,
What about
not for me.
what about Jaeger Burton? I know he's another center, but can he play other positions? I've heard some stuff about this guy from Kentucky. Supposedly had a pretty good pro day.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you like him, I love him, man.
But I don't know if anybody in the chat, and they're probably mad at us because we really haven't checked with them a whole lot. What do you guys think about this Burton, man? Is there anybody that we've thrown out here that a draft pick intel told them to go? Oh, this guy's James is getting razzed at work. They're talking about Packer and Bears stuff. They always give him a hard time. Hey, man, you got that pressure washer. Just get them wet. It's still cold out, man. Just make them, grab your pressure washer. You might go to HR after this, but it'll be worth it to give them a water wedgie, and grab their underwears while you take the pressure washer and just explode it right in their drawers and then just pull up on their underwear. It's a water wedgie, high pressure, Tell them you felt like they needed a little cleaning because they were playing dirty pool. What do you guys think? What position do you guys want to go? I mean, best player available right now is a receiver, and then you got another safety, Wyatt Williams, Ole Miss. Defensive tackle, Devin Earston, Minnesota. There's a tight end there. Cornerback, Andre Fuller, going back to your guy. I mean, we could go pick up a cornerback. I know a lot of guys were concerned about getting a cornerback, especially if we trade Tyreek Stevenson. This might be the guy that we need to get, Andre Fuller, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah, out of Toledo.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that sounds good to me.
All right, let's get him. And that's our mock draft, man. Always a pleasure. D-Nice, thank you for the intel. Thank you guys, everybody. Make sure you guys use this number. We will be on tomorrow. We might have a special show on for you. Right now, we got nothing on tap for Wednesday. D-Nice might pull up if we can get Jonathan out of his busy schedule to draw something up for us on Wednesday. I do not know. I know tomorrow is unavailable, but we'll see. So leave a message, call the CSP hotline for a chance to win a jersey. Leave a message, comment, or question for the show. Yesterday, we listened to 2 guys, and we had like 12 callers. So we've getting a lot lately. Today was Jim Miller. Today, it might be you we listen to tomorrow. You never know, man.
Yeah. Give us something to talk about.
Yeah,
give us something to talk about.
Give us something to talk about. And even you guys could call in during the mock draft and pick one of the picks for us. Well, how about that?
Yeah.
And if we like it, we go with it. Guess what? You're going to get a jersey. It's that easy.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to everybody that rock with us in the chat tonight, man.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'll be back. I'll be back on either tomorrow or Wednesday, man. I'll be ready to roll.
Absolutely. Thanks again. We want to give a shout out real quick to our sponsors, Bridges Scoreboard, your Northwest Indiana Chicago Sport headquarters with the coldest drinks in Chicagoland and the Hall of Fame menu, man, that they got. They got some really good food there. And then also, speaking of good food, why not just grab yourself a donut or a pastry in the morning? Get yourself a nice donut there at the Donut Depot, right down there from Bridges. Or you can go get yourself some gourmet popcorn, sneak it into the movie theater and get yourself some real nice gourmet popcorn there. You know what I mean? So, all right, guys, from our family to yours, from CSP's family to yours, we love you. And make sure you circle back, comment afterwards, man. It helps out our algorithm. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Love you guys. And D Nice, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for answering the call, man.
Yes, indeed, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Chi-Town up, bear down. Peace.
Bear down. Peace.
Tops on the ice, red lights flash, goods in the summer, whole city mad. Tracks like a tone, lingering for the sound. City ride with it, yeah, this our town. It's Chicago. Fucking here we live in Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, we in it. Cut the take, cut the call. Whole city tell you when we turn the ball. It's Chicago. Let's pay, lean in. Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, this big. Same heart, same code. Sports podcast, hey, let's go.
Doug, you were supposed to call today. You let me down, Doug, and you called yourself out. You said you'll call tomorrow. So we'll see if you come through tomorrow. You didn't come through today, but Dougie Fresh, we love you, man. Chi-Town up, bear down. See you guys later. Until next